Welcome back, Top Fan Rivalry listeners. I'm Jackson. I'm here with Bill, and it's another edition of the weekly review. Uh, just two guys, one with a top fan background and another guy in his basement talking about baseball. Another week. How we doing, Bill?
Jackson, I'm doing awesome, man. I love this show. I'm sitting here as we're recording, and it's going to be uploaded to YouTube like right away. I'm sitting here, I'm watching the Mets freaking Reds game, and Pete Alonso is on deck swinging the sledgehammer. I'm thinking, I'm out. You're stronger than I am. I'm out.
Oh my.
Crystal Pete swinging a sledgehammer.
Interesting, interesting. Is he going to move the on deck circle? You got to do the Adrian Beltre
Adrian
too.
Beltre, you're out of here.
Yeah.
They were down like 13-4 or some stupid thing like that. Wow. I'm
Uh,
out, I guess. Do what you got to do.
for those of you who don't know, Adrian Beltre got thrown out for moving the on deck circle.
Mhm. Yes, he
So,
did.
but yeah, a couple of things before we jump into the show tonight. There is softball if you are in Orange County. Uh, Bill, you said that was on September 20th.
Yes, sir. Jackson, we did different this time. It's from 1 to 7. It's going to be in Laguna Hills. You register at topfanrivalry.com. Use the code on this one, use the code TFR. We have to knock it through that way, but use the code TFR and it saves you 20%. It's 24 bucks. You get to play for 6 hours. You get a t-shirt and all kinds of fun goodie bags. We got sponsors. We have all kinds of fun stuff happening. It'll be
Yeah,
amazing.
I heard Bill's basically a home run derby pitcher. So if you want to go inflate your
That's
your
very
slow
true.
pitch softball stats, go up there and hack away.
That's very freaking true. You have no idea how true that is, Jackson. You have no idea.
Well, you told me what your ERA was last year for all the softball games you played in. It
Hey, I
wasn't
pitched a
great.
complete game, one strikeout, one walk, I think 16 runs. It was awesome.
It's about on par for slow pitch.
Yeah,
Let's be
southpaw
real.
on the bump.
Yeah,
Um,
and then the other thing we wanted to touch on, there is new merch coming. Keep an eye out for
yeah,
that. And as
yeah.
always, use code Jackson when you buy your merch. Get 10%
Use
off.
code Jackson to buy your merch, all upper cases. Um, Here's what's cool, Jackson, is it's the wrong season for it, but we are going to launch tank tops come the first of the year. People can load up on those, but we're going to have our embroidered hoodies coming up here pretty quick. And those things Jackson, do you have an embroidered hoodie? I thought you do.
I do.
Okay. Aren't
I
those
do have a
freaking things
tan.
comfortable?
They are comfortable. I wear it all the time. And now that it's cooling off in Pennsylvania, I'll be wearing it more. So
Yes, yes. So we'll have those. We'll have a bunch of, we just got a really, really cool new t-shirt guy, and we're gonna pump out some stuff. We're gonna pump out some serious stuff with him. So I'm actually excited for it. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, but I know everyone's waiting for us to jump in. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. We
guess
got talking around. So do your number one, Jackson. Start us off, brother. Come on now.
my number one. Let's talk about a guy who's been carrying my fantasy team for half the year. Let's talk about Junior Caminero. He hit his 40th home run. He's the fourth youngest player ever to hit 40 home runs, Bill, on a Tampa Bay team that seems to be surging a little bit here.
Yep.
Early in September, they're only 2 games out of the wild card. Caminero is crazy. Do you know who are the other three players or let's see, yeah, the other three players who have hit 40 home runs younger than Junior Caminero?
Um, I'll take a couple of
Two,
stabs at it if you want me to.
yeah, two of them are in the Hall of Fame, and one of them is the
Okay.
most underrated Hall of Famer in the Hall of Fame.
Um, so how old is Junior again?
He's going to be 22 at the end of this year, so he's in his age 21 season. I think he just turned 22.
So Junior for sure. King Griffey Jr.
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
What about Mickey Mantle?
No.
Those are two pretty good guesses, by the way.
They
Reggie
are.
Jackson.
No.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out.
All right. So you got Mel Ott, who did it at the age of 20.
Yep.
Mel Ott, the Hall of Famer everybody's heard about, but nobody ever remembers. Mel Ott was a monster. Eddie Matthews and Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, okay. That's that's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's actually a good trivia question, Jackson, that we should put up on the site. I
Yeah.
honestly, in fact, we'll talk after the show. I think I'll put that up on X. And Um,
I think we should talk about Mel a lot in the podcast this offseason.
we should.
Because
Let's do it.
I think he is probably one of the best players in Major League history that nobody ever talks about.
I think we
But
should do a most underrated Hall of Famers
uh,
episode in the
oh yeah,
offseason. And I think we should do also a who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not episode.
I think that's a great idea. But
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Let's do it. I like that. Junior Campaneros. I talked to you offline about my number one, Jackson. It's not going to surprise you. Ramon Valdez is pitching against the Bronx Bombers the other night, shakes his catcher off, shakes him off again. Catcher waves to him to step off the mound. Jackson, did you see this video?
Oh, I have.
Yeah, step off, step off. And Framber just decides he's going to throw the pitch anyways. And the batter goes up a home run on him.
Well, he hung a changeup right down the middle.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so I've had conversations with people in Houston, fans, people in or are very close to the organization. I, Jackson, what would you do if you were the manager of the ball club? You're at the end of the season here. This is not your best pitcher. He's not having a terrible season, but he's not having an amazing season either. What would you do if Jackson were in the dugout as the manager of the ball?
I think you didn't mention the part on air here because I said I heard the story. You didn't mention the part after giving up the grand slam. He plants a sinker in his catcher's chest protector after getting a curveball called. Unacceptable,
Mhm.
And honestly, my whole opinion watching the video, him turning his back to the catcher, not even apologizing, and then the catcher has to come out and try to, smooth things over and get on the same page. It's childish. And honestly, heading into a free agency season, we talked about he's probably going to miss out on some money because of that. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, Framber Valdez has been pretty good over the last 4 years. Very consistent, starting 27 plus games every year with a 3.5, 3.5 or lower ERA is going to get you a lot of money at the major league level. But it feels like something that might break the back of the Houston Astros clubhouse if it's
it
left
did.
unchecked.
It did. The rumor from a source close to the organization that I have said that there were punches thrown in the clubhouse between the catcher and Farmer. I don't know how true that was. He seems to think that it was very true, from what he heard, but just don't know.
But honestly, it's something. It's a distraction that you can't have.
Yeah,
Especially for Amber Valdez, who's played for the organization for this many years. This is something that can break a locker room apart down the stretch and cause a lot of issues because the club did not publicly reprimand it. They kind of swept that under the rug like, oh, it's water under the bridge. You can't do that. You have to come out and you have to show the players you're going to protect them. It's really weak managing to go, I pulled both of them aside.
hmm,
I don't want to hear that. Look, even if it wasn't what we thought it was, it sure seems like that, and nobody denied it in any of the press conferences.
nobody. And
They
and
just kind of
here
skirted the question.
here's the problem that I have with it, right? So you have a 3.5 game lead starting today against Seattle. You have a 5 game lead against Texas, the Rangers. But you have 6 games left with the Rangers. You still have 3 games with Seattle. Houston has a rough schedule going down the pipe. The Angels are playing a little bit better. The A's are playing a little bit better. So you're going to see they don't have just a gimme schedule of their last 20 games or whatever. Um, but honestly, if I'm the dugout manager, if I'm the on-field manager, I'm pulling him aside and saying to him in English and Spanish, "You're going to miss your next start. Your arm hurts. I don't care what excuse you want to give, but I'm benching you for your next start. You ever do that again, and you won't play for me, even in the playoffs. You just won't play. You don't do that to your players."
Honestly, I'm surprised the pitching coach didn't call him out and visit and give him the hook right there.
That's the other thing I would have done too. I was talking to somebody today in Houston about this as I was
I mean,
driving.
even if you call him out and visit and get somebody warming up, and then you pull him like immediately after because you don't want to throw the bullpen guy under the bus for the stupidity of your starting pitcher. I get that, but like, yeah, you got to give him the hook at that point.
Well, and here's the thing: is I was talking to a guy in Houston today. And I said, you know what I would have done right after that home run was hit, right after that ball left the yard? I would have waited the maximum amount of time I could have waited, and then I would have headed to the mound, taken my slow time getting there, talked to him, just asked him what his pizza order was or whatever it was, getting somebody up in the bullpen, letting him throw another pitch, waiting the maximum time, and pulling him out right in the middle of a batter's count. You want to embarrass your teammate? Great, I'm going to embarrass you. Like that's how this is going to roll. Okay, you have to understand you have seven men behind you, one guy in front of you. You are not the center of attention. There's nine guys on that field. So, I mean, you want to embarrass your teammate?
Yeah.
I'm back at you. But you know, that's me. So,
Yeah.
Jackson, what's your number two? We can go on with about
Uh,
this all night.
my number two is a question I'm going to pose to you.
Yeah,
Do you know who's the last player to hit 30 home runs for the San Francisco Giants? The answer may be easier than you think.
I I, I want to say it's Buster, but I don't know that he was the last person to do it. Matt Chapman,
Uh, try 20 over 20 years ago.
Barry Bonds.
Yep. It's Barry Bonds. The Giants have not had a 30 home run hitter since Barry Bonds. Willie Adames is 4 home runs away, is my
Okay.
point. And he's got a shot. You know, the Giants are playing good baseball. I'm going to plug it into that. They've kind of resurrected their wild card chances. But, you know, Willie Adames hitting 30 home runs, I think would be the greater accomplishment for the Giants, breaking that curse.
Yeah,
Because to me, it's wild. Been 20 years.
200%. 200%. It's crazy wild that it's that much. And it yeah, my gosh. I
20.
and you think of Pablo, you think of all these giants that they've had that could hit 30 or better, right? Pablo, Buster Posey. I mean, you've got a number of players. Even what's the dude's name? He used to ride a skateboard to the field. Hunter Pence. Even
100
Hunter
pence. Yeah,
Pence.
never.
Yeah, gosh. Jackson, you're coming up with some good ones tonight.
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
we're officially on watch. He's 4 home runs away. We got about a month of baseball left. Come on, Willie, you can do it. And if
Speaking
you don't, it's gonna make me sad because this list just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
speaking of 4 home runs away, did you know for my number two, did you know that there is one player that is 4 home runs away from having the most home runs ever by a, you want to finish the sentence?
Most home runs ever by a DH.
Switch hitter.
Switch hitter. Yeah, Cal Raleigh.
Cal Riley has 51. Mickey Mantle has 54. And so he is 4 home runs away from doing that. Will he do it? He's in a little bit of a slump right now. Will he do it? Very possible,
Yeah.
but it's I mean, that is a huge when your name is being brought up offensively to the mix name, you know you're having a freaking great season.
Even, I mean, even like off the field.
Yeah,
Any comparison to Mickey Mantle's probably a good one. But yeah, Cal Raleigh has cooled off a lot, but September has statistically been his best month in his career. So
yeah,
I think we're really going to see this month, you know, it, what he's really made of. Seattle's going to need it. They're falling out of contention. It I don't like saying it, but it's starting to look like another Seattle season where they fooled us once again. They bamboozled us. They've looked so good for so long this season, and it's kind of it's falling apart.
it is.
And I
And
hate it.
I feel bad for those guys up there because honestly, that fan base has been through what I'm gonna call a nightmare. Like, yeah. So I love Chat GPT for certain things. I hate it for other things, right? But sometime Jackson, type in roast and then put any team in there. So I was downstairs. I was talking to my wife about an hour ago or so, and I said pick a team, and she goes the Seattle Mariners. So I typed in roast Seattle Mariners. What ChatGPT came up with was absolutely brutal, brutal, and I mean it was. I'm paraphrasing here, but it said basically, and the Seattle fans, yeah, just wait till next year, which directly translated means we're going to give you our best effort until August and then we're out. I mean, so
Oh,
sometime Jackson, type into ChatGPT roast whoever, the Mariners, the Braves, whoever. I mean, it is hilarious, but it's brutal.
oh,
Uh,
yeah. But Seattle's still holding on to that last wild card spot. They really need to pick it up to stay ahead of Texas here.
yeah.
They got a big series with Atlanta this weekend. The Braves have not been playing good baseball. They need to capitalize on that. So we'll see.
If if Seattle had their wishes about them, they would take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. I'm not saying this to be mean to you, but I'm saying if Seattle had their wishes, they'd take 2 out of 3, and Texas would take 2 out of 3 from Houston because then they would pick up a game on Houston, and Texas wouldn't get any movement except for knocking 3 games off the schedule, right?
Yeah.
So, um, anywho, that's my number 2. What you got for number 3?
We have to talk about it. Is Paul Skenes just going to win the NL Cy Young Award unanimously at this point?
Yes, yes.
Uh, he was again brilliant against the Dodgers. Six scoreless innings, two hits, one walk, eight strikeouts.
Mhm,
Just another day at the office for Paul Skenes. He's got a 1.98 ERA.
mhm.
Somehow has nine losses.
Which is
And
great, by the way. That ERA is great when you've only started 4 games. This guy's had a whole season,
yeah,
right?
it's crazy. 0.93 WHIP. I think the craziest things for me is he leads the NL in strikeouts. He leads the NL in home runs allowed per nine. It, he's the best pitcher in the National League, hands
Yeah.
down. You could probably argue the major leagues, and since he's come up, he's got a 1.97 career ERA and 52 starts, which is the
So
best ever.
yeah, and so somebody was asking me today, does he also win the MVP? And takes it away from Shohei or any of these guys. I said no. Kyle Schwarber and Shohei Ohtani have done enough, and even PCA have done enough to tell Paul Skeens, your award's the Cy Young, our award's the MVP.
I mean, people would give Paul Skeens more weight if the Pirates are in first place.
Well, here's the thing: if Paul
That's the
Skeens,
thing.
yeah, if Paul Skeens and he's putting together an incredible season. Don't get me wrong, right? But if Paul Skeens were a 20-game winner with 250 or more strikeouts, right? And he was say 22-3 at the end of the season with 250 strikeouts and less than 50 walks, and the Pirates won their division. Yeah, let's talk about it. But you got a guy who has 50 home runs, you got a guy who's stepping on 50, you've got PCA who's doing all kinds of amazing, amazing freaking things. And for as young as that kid is, no, sorry, Paul. Stay in the Cy Young.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's going to win like three or four of these in the next 5 years.
2000,
At this rate, he's just that good.
2000%. 2000%. So yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, we have to talk about that. By the way, Jackson, like I said, I got my eye a little bit on the Mets Cincinnati game. You got second the Mets are up 5-4. I can't tell what inning it is because it's the bottom of the sixth. There's 2 outs, full count, second and third. Mets are up 5-4. And I'm like, let's see what happens here. The last guy struck out on a pitch that was nowhere near the zone. And those are just bad at bats. Okay. Ball four. So you got the bases loaded. Oof, this is gonna get exciting. Okay. My number 3. Are you ready for this, Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Can somebody tell me how you've seen the movie Major League, Jackson? There's a scene at the beginning of it when they're inviting all the guys to camp, and the janitor from Scrubs says, "Who the F are these effing guys?" Right?
Hmm.
Well, I kind of feel like that with the Tampa Bay road or roster every year, right? One or two of these guys. These guys have won 7 in a row, and they're only 2 games out of the wild card. They could actually knock out Seattle and potentially knock out either the Red Sox or the Yankees, who are playing each other 6 more times before the end of the season.
It's crazy. I don't know how they do it every year.
Me neither. Tell me, make it make sense, Jackson. Make it make sense.
Here I'm trying to open it up. It looks like they're their payroll this year. It's minuscule. It's nothing. It's funny because it looks like the committed amount of money they have is around $50 million.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like a fifth of that's going to Wander Franco, who's in
What
prison.
Yes. And what is funny about that is you and I were both talking about Zach Wheeler. He's making 42 million a season. So he's making $8 million less than the entire payroll for Tampa Bay.
It they're the best to do it, Tampa Bay, Milwaukee's done a similar thing this year. I watched a great video this morning. I can't remember what YouTube channel it was. If I ever remember, I will let you know. But I won't take credit for this about how, Milwaukee's kind of bucked the analytics with their slap hitting approach. Tampa Bay does the same kind of thing where
Mhm.
they find nice guys who fit that niche of multiple positions, a lot of speed, play good defense, and hit about 260. They crack the code and they mix that with, top tier prospects who can smack 40 home runs like Junior Caminero. And it really kind of puts together a nice, well-rounded roster of guys you never heard of and guys that they can get for cheap. You know, they pick up these guys in trades, they pick them up in the Rule 5 draft, and you're just like, one man's trash is another man's treasure, apparently. Because Tampa Bay wins every trade. When's the last time Tampa Bay made a trade? You're like, oh, they shouldn't have made that trade.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while, that's for sure. But I love that saying. I hear it all the time and I love that saying. For some reason, that saying is just awesome. Right. Um, okay, Jackson, honorable mentions tonight. What you got? I got a few, but what do you got?
Well, this year is in danger of being the record here for the fewest hitters that hit 300. Obviously, that goes to the infamous year of the pitcher, 1968, when only six batters hit 300. This year could have as few as two. Uh, there's like six top stuff players, three, Aaron Judge is a no doubter. He'd have to hit like under 150 the rest of the year to hit 300. Bo Bichette will probably hit 300. Jacob Wilson has to qualify to hit 300. And then there's a ton of guys on the fence. So feasibly, this could be a record that's broken. And talking about that Milwaukee Brewers approach of, slapping the ball around and putting the ball on the ground, the Brewers are near the bottom of the league in barrel rate and near the top in ground ball rate, which is just the absolute opposite of what Major League Baseball is doing right now. That's why nobody hits 300 because to hit 300, you hit a lot of ground ball singles through the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So,
yeah, you're at 100%. I don't know if you know this or not, but this year we are on pace this year. Sam and I do this every year or every week with Around the Diamond. We are on pace this year to have the most stolen bases ever.
wow.
Most home runs hit ever was in 2023. 2024, we were about 400 less. 2025, we're not even gonna come close. We might catch 2024's pace, but not 2023's pace.
2023 had a lot of home runs. Let me tell you, the Braves had a lot of home
Yeah,
runs.
yeah, no,
The
amen.
Dodgers hit a
Preach,
lot of home runs that year. The
preach,
Yankees hit a lot of home runs that year. It
preach.
was 2023. Ooh, what a year. I guess my other honorable mention is the Padres losing Jason Adam for the season with a quad rupture is probably one of the biggest injuries this week in baseball. Padres really need Adam to kind of solidify the middle part of that bullpen. They're scuffling right now. It's kind of compounding the misery. They're hanging on to that second wild card spot. Padres need to play good baseball down the stretch because you can hear the Giants coming in. The Reds and the Diamondbacks aren't going away.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's very true, very true. And the yes, very true. Um, I have a couple of them that are pretty simple. One, the Chicago White Sox. Yes, they won five in a row. Yes, they're beating Detroit tonight, right now, but it's not about the winning streak. Here's the thing: the Chicago White Sox going into today, mind you, Friday the 5th, right? The Chicago White Sox going into today have 88 losses. Last season, they had 121 losses. Let's just say they play terrible ball in their last 22 games and they win only 10 of them, right? And they or 11 of them, or they win nine of them and they lose 13. They have 101 losses. When was the last time you saw a team change, positive or negative, by 20 games, Jackson? That is
It doesn't
huge.
happen. It doesn't happen very often. The ones that pop off the top of my head are the Atlanta Braves in the '90s.
Hmm.
From last to first. The Miracle 1914 Braves as a Braves fan. Those are like the two big ones. And in recent memory, there hasn't been a lot of teams that have done that.
No,
Um,
no, and so
maybe Kansas City did that, before they got good.
maybe Baltimore,
Maybe
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 Baltimore.
Baltimore.
We'd have
But
that'd
like,
be a fun
yeah,
fact to look up for next week's show.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, this would be a
It
fun
doesn't
fact for
happen
next
very
week's
often.
show.
So unless
Uh,
you were like really into your team and you follow, you're like, oh yeah, my team had a 20 win swing. It it's just one of those things.
well, if you stop and think about it, if your team had, let's say your team was 82 and 80 last season, and they had a 20 swing, that means it would be 102 and 60, which is an amazing season, right? So just saying, just so that you know, just saying, the White Sox are, there's something now. I talked to a White Sox fan on an Instagram live last night, and he said, I'm shooting for 2027. He says, we'll probably lose 101 games this season. We'll probably lose mid 90s in the mid to low 90s in 2026. He says, but in 2027, we'll be competitive. We'll be ready for a playoff push. Love it.
Yeah, I looked it up. The last team to do it was the Royals. In 2023, they were 56 and 106, and last year they won 86 games,
Yeah.
30 game
Which
swing.
is insane, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but nobody's talking about it because they had such a bad season the year before, setting the record, right? We
yeah.
should be talking about these guys.
It says it was only the seventh time a team had improved 30 games in the modern era. And for
Yeah.
those of you that don't know, the modern era starts in like 1920.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And honestly, right now they're improving. Not that the White Sox are going to win every single game the rest of the season, but they're they right now they're on pace to improve by like 33 games. That's not going to happen, but they could improve by at least 20, and that's insane. So,
Yeah, you were
anyways,
right. The Orioles are on this list too. The best team to ever do it though was the Diamondbacks. They went from 65 wins to 100 wins from 1998 to 1999. What acquiring Randy Johnson does to a team.
acquired the big unit. So
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. My other honorable mention, Jackson, is you have to give a lot of shout out to this is the end of the season. All the awards are getting ready to wrap themselves up. You have to give shout outs to guys like Riley Green, like guys like PCA, who are having excellent seasons, but just they're behind guys like the Big Dumper, who's got 51 home runs right now. They're behind Aaron Judge or they're behind Shohei Ohtani and a guy like Kyle Schwarber. But you have to mention these guys and say, it's kind of like a high school coach, right? When you have a really good freshman that plays freshman ball his freshman year, and you say, just be patient. You'll be on varsity next season. You're going to skip JV. You're going to be on varsity. Just be patient. Good things are coming, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Jackson, tell me I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, every season has that one guy who has a really good season and everyone forgets about it, i.e. Jose Ramirez every year. Uh, I saw a really funny comparison today. Somebody's compared, Jose Ramirez to Adrian Beltre, and it's near identical. And Adrian Beltre was one of those guys where it's just like, oh yeah, he hit 300 every year, hit 25 home runs, drew on 100 runs.
Mhm,
Was
mhm.
Beltre out there winning MVP? No, but Beltre
Well,
was out there doing his thing.
one of the one of the articles that I think I might have you pen if you ever get a chance is just that. And I asked this on Twitter the other day. Is Jose Ramirez putting together a Hall of Fame career? And I only
Yes,
ran the poll for a day, and I think we got 7 or 8 votes on it, but 80% of them or 85% of them said yes.
yes. Honestly, if Jose Ramirez retired right now, he would probably have a good argument for the Hall of Fame. But
One,
let him hit, the 2,500 hits he's on pace to hit, and go 400, 400, even like 350 homers, 350 stolen base, easy.
yeah, yeah. Chris Sale's getting taken out after 6 2/3, 92 pitches. He gave up a grand total of 0 runs. Pretty good. So, anyways, Jackson, this has been a great week. This has been a great show. Here's what everybody needs to know. Like Jackson mentioned, softball. If you're in the Orange County area, the 20th of this month, register on topfanrivalry.com. Go to the team store. Use the code TFR as in Top Fan Rivalry, all in capitals. That will get you 20% off. We actually pay the cost for the field. We have to pay for insurance on the field. We have to pay for the shirts. There's a bunch of things, so we have to charge just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think,
And go hit a bunch of home runs off a Bill and make sure you
yes,
stare
please
at what
do.
Rafael Devers did that Kyle Friedland home run. Maybe the benches will clear.
There
Okay.
you go. Maybe. And then the other thing that we want to make sure that we know, check out the store. We're going to get some new merchandise up there. It's going to be epic when it comes up. And use the code Jackson, all capital letters. Jackson, JACKSON, capitals.
Yes.
Yay!
Say it with me. There's no X in Jackson. I'm
There's
sorry.
no S.
If there's an X in your name and your name's Jackson, you're just objectively wrong. I'm
There
sorry.
we go. All right, everybody, enjoy yourself. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Mash that subscribe button. Jackson and I are going to be sending this out to our friends. We're probably going to start getting some guests on towards the playoffs. So be prepared. We're going to have crazy weeks with different guests. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Jackson, let's do it again next week.
See you next week.
Next week.